guess YouTube's not going to send out my notification today. What's up, y'all? No viewers yet. Somebody will jump in here in a minute. Breaking down boxes. I haven't done this in a while. They accumulate pretty quick down here in the basement. Yeah. We order stuff online. It comes in the basement in a box, and we throw it down here in the basement and all that good shit. They accumulate pretty quickly. I only do this about once every, I don't know, 3 weeks or something like that. Yeah. I got nobody on here yet. Jeez, what's up? Come on, YouTube. Do your job. Everybody must be mad at me because I didn't do a live feed yesterday. I usually do Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but I just didn't feel like doing one yesterday, so I didn't. So, I guess I'll just sit here until somebody comes on. Yeah. Got the CB radio on over here. A whole lot going on it either. Unfortunately. No kind of chatter. I'm on 19. I've even got my preamp on to pull people's. Thank you. That response was all I needed. And a yeehaw to you, sir. All right, right on. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I know how hard it is to get a radio check. I do the same kind of shit. I'll do that, or I'll say something rude out loud, and somebody will respond, and then I gotta tell them, thanks for the radio check. I appreciate it. Have yourself a blessed day.
All right, man. Top of the afternoon to you. 4 fingers and a thumb. They call me wizard on this old weak station. Have a good one. We'll talk to you again some other time. People are. Been on here almost 5 minutes. I got no views. What's up with that shit? I guess I'm about to go upstairs and get my freaking tablet and see if I'm even airing right now. That's pretty odd. Be on here this long on a Thursday. Not getting anybody. Wow. Interesting. I wonder if YouTube's got me blocked for some reason. Hello, viewer. How's it going? Top of the afternoon to you. Yeah. All right. If you want a shout out, go ahead and type something in there. You get your shout out. Today's show brought to you by Zevia. This is grape. This is almost as good as knee-high grape soda, but not quite. It's not exactly the same, but it's good enough. So I didn't do a live feed yesterday. So I figured I'm home a little early from work today, and I figured I'd get in here and do a live feed today. I've got some boxes that have accumulated at the bottom of my stairs because when we order stuff from Amazon, we throw all the boxes downstairs. Man, what is up with my glasses? They're like super dirty today or something. I need to find something to clean them with. Got a bad glare. Let's see if that makes it any better. That's a little better. Anyway, like I said, I got all these boxes from Amazon and other places we order from. I come down here about once every couple of weeks to break them down, because if I don't, I put them all in one big box. If I don't do it that way, then the other box is too heavy to carry upstairs with all these other boxes in it. So I thought I would do that while I'm waiting. See what people are up to today. Everybody having a good day? Don't everybody answer at once. Oh, there's only one person. No wonder I'm not getting any conversation yet. It's alright. Hang out with me for a while, and you'll get some conversation, right? Busy work, you know. Oh, I got a like. How about that? I like it when I get likes. Yeah. On my live feeds. Wearing a new t-shirt today. This is my Anti-Scene shirt. They did a live concert for their new album. They just came out with not long ago, and they had what do they call it, a release party at this place called Repo Records. Repo Records is over in Charlotte, North Carolina. Of course, I'm near St. Louis, Missouri, so I didn't get to go to the opening. But they were giving away these shirts, and I decided to get a hold of Jeff Clayton, who's a good friend of mine, and he's a singer for the band Anti-Scene. And with a little monetary value and a little bit of his time, he sent me one of these cool ass shirts, and I've never seen one like this in red. So the fact that it's in red makes it kind of unique. But I bet you I'm probably the only person in Missouri that's got one of these shirts, which is really cool. Drinking Zevia today. I usually do a shout out to Mountain Dew, but I'm going to do it to Zevia today. That's right. I got my CB radio going. I'm hoping maybe somebody will be talking about something somewhere. Let's go down to channel 6. See if there's any of the... Channel 6 is known as the Super Bowl channel. Man, it's dead. There's like nobody... nothing happening on the radio today. I haven't even fired up my scanner yet. See if we got anything going on. The police are busy or anything. Yeah. I'm just going to sit here and get views then. People will stop in and see me. Yeah, people are coming in and out. That's good. I've been here 10 minutes. I've had probably 3 or 4 people come in and out. I guess I have to do this earlier in the day or something. God, my glasses are dirty. That's NOAA. So, Weather Channel. Let me know what's going on. Not a whole lot today. The scanner's kind of neat. You know, I've got, it's a little Bearcat, Uniden Bearcat. It's a BC355N Bearcat scanner. And I've got an antenna out back that I've got it hooked to. My CB antenna and my scanner antenna are 2 different antennas, and they're right next to each other. I had a guy break in a few minutes ago on the radio, was talking to me, but he's gone. So I decided to turn the scanner on, see what's going on in the world. But it's pretty neat because I got on the scanner, I can listen to police, fire. I can listen to what's going on over at the airport, and of course, it's got quite a few of the NOAA Weather Channel radio stations on it. This must be an airport here. They talk about runways. I'm guessing that's probably the airport. Yeah. And then on my CB radio, I've got one of these real expensive one that I can talk all over the country. If I can hear you, I can talk to you, basically. That's what that's all about. Now, I can't, on my scanner, I can't talk to anybody, but I can listen, you know. The CB radio is completely different. This is actually, it's a ham radio that is converted to AM, and it's got all these channels on it. So this list here, not sure how well you guys can see that. Anything in red here, I'm not supposed to talk on at all. But I've got 1,000, actually I've got more than 1,000 channels on the radio to talk on. I could go to upper sideband, lower sideband, and then the government just gave us permission as amateur radio people on CB radios to start using AM as well, or FM, I'm sorry. So I've got, I could do code wave, which is Morse code. I can do AM, your regular AM channels, you know, like 1 to 40. That's generally, you know, your Citizens Band radio. But I can also go on sidebands, you know, channels above and channels below. And if I can hear you, I can pretty much talk to you. I've got what they call fire in the wire. And I've got 3 speeds on this thing. So it's a little white Tornado 225. And I've got low, medium, high, and then I got a preamp. So a preamp brings in the signal from other radios. If they're a little weak, then I can pull them out with this amp here on the preamp. So it's a pretty nice little setup. Out back, I've got 100 foot of coax between my radio and my antenna. And it's I've got the antenna hooked up to my building out back. And I've got what they call an Antron. It's what they call a power stick. It's an Antron 99, which is basically just you know, a starter antenna, but it works well enough that I can talk really good. And when the skip's good, I can talk to people like on the East Coast, and I can talk to people out west. I talked up to, as far as I've talked so far, I think is Australia on this thing. But that was like in the wee hours of the morning, you know, during their daytime. I think it's like nighttime there now, right now. I'm not sure what the time difference is between us and Australia, but it seems to me that like when they're sleeping, we're up and doing things. I think I just got a delivery from Amazon. I ordered a Pinewood Derby car. They've started this thing with Pinewood Derbies at work, and just to have something fun to do for us guys. So I decided I'm a little lazy, and I didn't feel like, because I don't have any woodworking equipment. I don't have bandsaws and all that bullshit. So I just ordered a block that's already cut from Amazon. And I got some paint upstairs. I'm going to paint it an emerald green color. And take some stickers and it'll look pretty cool when I get done with it. Anyway, let's see what's going on here on this radio. Thought I heard somebody in there talking. I guess not. There's no skip today. I don't know if you guys know about radios and skip, but so skip is it's like a shorter distance between two radios. So you have what you call the atmosphere, of course, and then on the inside of that you have a thin layer called the ionosphere. So when the ionosphere, whether it's electrical activity, any kind of heat, or like sun waves, what do they call them, sunbursts or whatever they are, the ionosphere has negative ions and positive ions. And what happens is when there's any kind of anything, they're magnetic. Basically like taking two magnets, North Pole and South Pole, and putting them together. It does basically the same thing, except these ions attract each other and it forms like a layer inside the atmosphere. So instead of your radio signals going outside of the atmosphere, bouncing off of whatever out there and coming back in, it's a more direct route. It takes a shorter time, and that's what they call skip. And you're able to talk a lot farther with a lot less power with doing your skip than if you're just talking on the radio. So it's a really cool thing. I enjoy the radios a whole lot because it kind of gets me away when I can actually talk to somebody. Right now there's really not a whole lot of activity going on. I've circled the band a couple of times, and like nobody's on right now. And if they are, they're not really talking. I got a buddy that lives down the street. He's got a great big setup. I love his setup. He's got what they call directional beams, so they're element beams, and he can turn them like this to talk to different people. And he's a ham operator himself, so he's from the Dominican Republic, so he likes to stay in touch with people there. Excuse me. And he does really well with his. He can talk to people all over the world just like I can, but would not as, I don't know, the ham radio waves are a little different than what I deal with, because you have different meters, and I think he talks usually on like 20 meter or something like that, 20 or 40 meter. And man, he talks to people in the Dominican Republic on his radio. It's just like they're sitting in a room right next to him. It's really neat. But he speaks Spanish because he's from the Dominican Republic. So when he's talking to those people, I don't understand anything they're saying. But I've been over to his house and hung out with him a few times, and he'll let me know what they're saying. And then like sometimes he'll have me test radios with him, and he'll get on his radio that I'm talking to him on, and he'll film it for YouTube, and then he sends that to his friends over in the Dominican Republic and other places. Look out for the popo! Somebody talking about the police, they call them the popo. You get that a lot. I get a lot of truckers. Interstate 70 is about 3 miles that way. So I get a lot of the truckers, and there's a lot of shipping depots around here, like business parks and industrial areas around here. So I do get quite a bit of chatter from truckers. So they're always talking about the police and stuff, and they communicate, where the police are and stuff like that. It's really neat to be able to do that. It's not a very expensive hobby either. I mean, once you get going, once you spend the initial money with a hobby like radios, it's really pretty simple. And then sometimes I carry this radio. This is a handheld CB radio. I think the batteries are probably dead in it, but this is a 40 channel radio here. And this one here with this antenna, I got about a 20 mile range. It's not very powerful, but I could talk about 20 miles with this one, something like that. I got two of those. So these are really neat to take on, like camping trips, or I usually carry one of these too. Like one of the trucks that I have, or one of the cars I have, has a CB in it, but the other ones don't. So this one's got Weather Channel on it too. And let's see here. I'll turn it over on the CB radio part. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me keying up, but anyway, these are good to have on the road. Hello, Gwent. England, you're in England? No, I'm in America. Yeah, I'm on a live feed right now. I was just talking about CB radios and stuff. I have a hobby. I talk on CB radios. These are my mobile radios that I take when I go on trips. I just throw them in the car in case something happens, or I'm in an area where there's no cell phone service. You can use one of these instead. This is a Maxon 40 channel radio. You can pick these up on the internet for about $60. And you can talk on these with this little antenna here. You can probably get in touch with people, I don't know, 10 to 20 miles, somewhere in that area, if you're in a good area. But you have to be outside the car in order for it to talk that far. But I've also got my big radio here. I'll show you this one. This is my other setup here, right here. So this is the radio itself. This is a auto. Let's see, what is it called? I haven't talked on it so long I've forgotten. Anyway, it's a 6666. And then I got my scanner over here that I can talk on. I can't talk on the scanner, that's for listening, but I talk on the radio a whole lot. And there's some of us get together like on Wednesday nights, and we just shoot the shit and check in and stuff like that. It's a pretty neat hobby. The initial startup is a little expensive. If you want a good radio, let's see here. I've got another one that I bought. This is a Cobra. This is a Cobra radio right here. Now I don't have it hooked up, so it doesn't have any power. This radio here is a Cobra 18 Plus, and they were really popular in the 80s. This radio, but somebody's gone through this one and redone the whole inside. But I haven't put it in my car yet. Actually, I was going to put it in my SUV, my Trailblazer, but I haven't, because where I've got it mounted is right beside. It's on the side of the console, right beside my knee. So it's actually too big. The radio that I have there now is not so big, and it fits a lot better. But then this is my microphone right here, and when I push this button here, it lights up audio like that. See there? It's like I say, it's a pretty cool little thing to get into. Now, are you J-Want, or is it G-Want? Are you in England? Oh, you're looking at my flag back there. No, I see. Okay, no, I'm not in England. I've got that British flag back there, or British Jack flag. But it's been hanging there since I moved into this house. I've been in this house now for, let's see, 13 years I've lived here. And That flag has been there probably for at least 12 of the 13 years. I don't have any family in England. I've just always liked the British Jack flag, so that's why that's there. I also fly the American flag down here, and I've got a Confederate flag down here that I fly too. But the Confederate flag's gotten such a bad name and a bad rap that I don't display it, like out. Like if I was going to show this room, I would put that flag away first because people, I don't know, they've got a misconception about the Confederacy, and it's all that woke bullshit that's going on these days, and people just don't understand. I live in Missouri now, but I'm from the South. I'm from North Carolina, and when I was growing up, that was kind of a brotherly or a brotherhood thing. We all us young kids, we all, you know, flew the Confederate flag and we wore Confederate shirts, and everything was Dixie. It had nothing to do with slavery. It had nothing to do with fights with anybody. It was just a brotherhood. But when that kid Dylan Roof went to, what was it, Charleston, South Carolina, and killed all those people. There was like 9 people that he killed in the church. They claimed that he was a white supremacist. I don't believe it for 1 minute. I think the kid he had some emotional problems, and he needed somebody to take his frustration out on, and he might have hated some people, but I can't speculate why he did it, but that seems to be about the same time that the Confederate flag, because he was holding one in a picture, became a target. And with with the people in Washington, especially the Democrats, and celebrities that didn't grow up in the South and know absolutely nothing about what that flag means, just became a bad mouthpiece. So I don't display it like in public. It's inside my house, you know what I mean? Which brings me to a funny story. So I used to have a contract with a company, and I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to get sued. But there was an air conditioning contracting company that used to come in and service my air conditioner like once a year, and they sent somebody who was obviously gender confused here to my house, and she just happened to be black, which I welcome anybody in my home, and but she I don't know, she said she was uncomfortable in my house. She didn't feel safe in my house. And so when she left, the company called me on the phone and told me that they would be canceling my contract, my service contract with them, because people didn't feel comfortable in my home or didn't feel safe. And I was thinking to myself, well, she was probably in the safest house in the neighborhood, believe it or not. I'll just say I'm well prepared, okay? And I got pretty irate with them, and it really pisses me off, that people don't understand what heritage is all about, and where you grow up, and where you come from, and what is a norm, and what has been a part of your life for so long, and then all of a sudden becomes a target. And the reasons you like those things are not because they pin or hold anybody down, not because you're a part of any kind of like Aryan group or hate group. And that's what really pisses me off, is the fucking them dumbasses in the KKK really gave the flag a bad name, because they fly the flag too. Unfortunately, they do it as some kind of they fly it for hatred, which is completely opposite. I was looking. The flag is actually I'm a songwriter, music composer, the same channel. I've launched some of my song. On the other hand, I like the radio you have. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's an Anytone 6666. If you want to look at it, call it a Quad 6. It's got I've got upper sideband, lower sideband, FM, AM, code wave, which means I can talk in Morse code. I don't know Morse code, but if I needed to, if I had like a chart or something, I could do the Morse code. And then these are actually the channels. These are some of the more regularly used channels. Now, anything in red, I'm not allowed to use. All this here, I can go listen all day long, but I can't talk on those channels because I don't have a ham license. However, this is actually, it's a 10 meter radio, but I've had it converted to 11 meter. But I can still use all these channels here. Well, I can't talk on all of them, but I can listen to most of them. And then, of course, you've got your 10K drop. It's really neat what you can do with this radio, especially. I've got a Roger beep on there. I don't know if you can hear this or not. Let's see. No, I don't have my Roger beep set on right now. But like when I press the button on my microphone, this is my microphone here. So when I push this button, it lights up right here, right? And then when I let off, it would go beep to let people know that I was clear and I'm ready for conversation. This one's got echo in it. It kind of sounds like, well, you might know some about echo being a musician. Echo and reverb. That's basically the reason I have this microphone is I like the echo. You know what I mean? I don't turn it up to where it's really strong. And it does take away from the modulation just a little bit, when I'm talking. But it makes it smoother. I'm sure you probably know what I mean by that. But I've been in the radios for a pretty long time. Yeah, go ahead, radio check. Somebody called for radio check. Somebody out there probably has got a radio that they've just put in their automobile or something, or they have a base station they're setting up. There's a CB shop about 10 miles up the road. Every once in a while, that guy will be testing radios, and if I just happen to be on when he's testing radios, I'll talk to him and let him know, at least that it's getting out. You know what I mean? But I like radio. I really want to get my ham license, but I don't have the time that it takes to study because I work long hours at work, and I'm real busy on the weekends doing absolutely nothing. But I'm doing stuff, but I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm like a procrastinator too, so I don't get a lot done anyway. But I like to. But I'm busy doing nothing. But I got other things, like that I occupy my time with. I listen to music a lot. I've got I don't know if how many people are still into vinyl, but I have a bunch of vinyl records that I listen to. I'm kind of a collector a little bit. It's like like more of the popular 80s stuff, heavy metal and like the hairband metal. I listen to that stuff a lot. Of course, being Gen X, we grew up on that stuff. So what I've done is like some of the more rare albums that people don't realize are still out there. Special editions. There's but your first press albums are the ones that you really try to get your hands on. But it's hard to get those at a cheap rate. I do listen to a guy on YouTube. I'm sorry. Well, he's on YouTube also, but I listen to him mostly on Facebook. His name is Chad, and he's got a place called CollectCo, 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 and he's right outside of Nashville, Tennessee, and he goes around and buys people's record collections. When people, like if for one reason or another, say they're like older people and they're getting ready to get put in like a nursing home or something, they don't have anybody to pass this stuff down to, or their kids don't want it, or stuff like that, toys, collectibles. and all that. So he has these auctions every night. He's on it. He usually starts about 5 p.m. I don't know what time zone you're in, uh, G-Want, but I'm in Central Time Zone. So for me, he starts at 5, and I guess on the East Coast that would be 6 p.m. But what he does is he has these crates, and they're full of albums, and he'll go through and he'll tell you, like, how much it is, if it's a first press or a reprint, and he'll tell you, like, what's inside the cover. Sometimes they come with the original sleeves. They also come with like posters. They come with song lists. Just basically like a lot of the Kiss albums I remember back when I was younger. When I started listening to Kiss as a kid, they always had something cool inside. So like the Love Gun album had like a pop gun in it, and it was a love gun, and it was just a fold over thing, and it had a piece of paper in it. So when you do it like that, it would pop out and it would say bang. And then like when they had the Dynasty album, there was a poster in the Dynasty album. And then when they did their individual albums, the first set of individual albums for each member of the band, they had a poster in those. Now, unfortunate enough for me, I don't have any of that stuff, but I do have some of those albums anyway. Um, but I've kind of become a connoisseur of rare stuff. I just bought an album by a band called Witness, who were from Atlanta, Georgia. They were pretty much a one and done band. They did one album, and they had a female singer, and she was really good. And I remember having a cassette tape. If you know what a cassette tape is, I'm sure you probably do. Um, there was a song called "Do It Till You Drop," and I used to listen to it a lot. It was a cassette single, and I would put it on constant play. And I really liked it a lot, and I never heard anything else off of that record. And then, I started going through like some of my bucket list records that I wanted, and that just happened to be one of them. So I got on eBay. I guess it was probably a week ago. I mean, I've been looking for it on Chad's show. Oh, I'll finish telling you about Chad in a minute. But so I was looking on eBay, and I found this record for $6.90, or was it $6.99, and it was in Trenton, New Jersey, I believe is where it was. And I was like, heck yeah! So I ordered the record. I got it last weekend, and I've already played it like twice. And it's a really, really good album from beginning to end. There was a lot of really unpopular, well, not, I don't want to say unpopular, but they were probably underrated bands in the 80s. This is one of them, Witness. Also, Brittany Fox, for instance. Brittany Fox was a great band, but they were underrated. They didn't get any radio play. Then there was Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come was a great band. There was like one or two of their songs they played on the radio, but it was very rarely, and it was usually only on shows that, did like specialty shows, almost like, I don't know, there was radio stations that had like something like New Metal Thursday or something like that, where they would play a new song and see how people responded to it. If people responded, this is back during the time though that people had to call in on the phone, so it was hard to get through. But they would do these New Metal Thursdays or whatever day it was, and but they, depending on the popularity or the desire for people to listen to that particular record or that particular song, would depend on whether they would play it or not. So they, a lot of these underrated bands I listen to now. There was another one too, Blue Murder. Oh man, what a great band Blue Murder is. And unfortunate enough for me, when I go to look for that album, like the cheapest one I can find is a couple $100. And so I'm a collector, right, of vinyl, but I'm not going to spend $200 on a record. That's not going to happen. I'll wait and see. I check back, every once in a while. Like on eBay, I check a website called Mercari, Mercari. because I can find some good deals. I found a bunch of Megadeth on there that I really liked, albums that I have on CD. But CDs have kind of gone out the window, and they don't put CD players in cars anymore. It's all about SD cards and MP3s, and of course, you got satellite radio and stuff like that now. So, you're kind of forced to listen to that stuff. You don't really have, you really don't get the opportunity to listen what you want to listen to, unless you have like a Spotify account, which I don't have. I don't really care to listen to Spotify. But I do listen, like, I've got an MP3 player that I put a bunch of music on. So what I do is I just switch it out every week. And I usually put about, I don't know, probably 10 or 12 gigs of music on it. I work 10-hour days a lot of times. So, if I've got an MP3 player with a disc in it or a SD card that's got, 1,200 songs, I can listen to the thing all week. Now, of course, I'll hear, the songs sometimes 5 or 6 times a week. But it's a pretty good variety, so I don't have to worry about it too much. All right, now getting back to Chad. So anyway, what Chad does is he takes these crates of albums and he puts them on a table. And like they have, he's going to do metal tonight. It'll be metal night is what they call Thursday nights is metal night. So he's going to have metal on tonight. But he'll take these things and he'll flip them. He'll tell you how much the record is. He'll tell you what kind of shape it's in, if there's any what they call inserts inside the sleeve, and then he'll show you, what the album looks like, and he'll tell you about the sleeve, if the sleeve's damaged or anything. He points that out. And generally, those ones that are in crates, if you're the first person to type in the name of the band or the name of the record, then you get it. So he takes it out and he puts it in another crate. But he's talking to this as he goes, because he has a group of people that fulfill the orders. So what they do is they listen and watch his feeds back, and they take these records and they mail them out to people. And but no matter how many records you buy from him, it's $7 shipping, I believe, is what I usually. But the only bum thing about it is that of course, the tax. Ugh, I hate taxes. So if you spend, let's say, for instance, if you get an album that's $30 plus the $7 in shipping, and then whatever the tax is, that's what you pay for the record. And I think it usually comes out to like $41 or $42 if you get the record for like $30. Okay, so then on the back of the table, he'll put auctions out. Now the auctions are set for albums that he knows is going to bring in money. So he'll take these records and set them on the back, and he'll tell you who it is, if it's a first press, if it's a reprint, if it's a bootleg, because he sells bootlegs too, believe it or not. I don't know how he gets away with it, but he does. I guess because it's collectible. You know what I mean? But these people have these collections, like I said. A lot of the albums that they get, they're really into the bootlegs because they're pretty rare. But there's a lot of them that, like, I don't know if you remember back in the 80s. I don't know how old you are, but back in the 80s, like when people went to see the Grateful Dead, they would take tape players in and they would record the concerts while it was going on, which was illegal, but people still managed to get it done. So it's basically the same thing. A lot of these bootleg records will be bootlegs from concerts and stuff like that, or they will be unreleased tracks that somebody has gotten hold of a demo record or something like that, or a demo tape, and then put it on an album. So a lot of that stuff's pretty neat. Excuse me, but he usually starts, those auctions usually start anywhere between $20 and $25, and then you bid on them. So say, for instance, if he has Jimi Hendrix Are You Experienced album, which is a fairly rare album these days, he'll probably start that one at like $35. And then you can go in $1, $2, $5, $10 increments or whatever, and bid on these albums. And he usually has like 3 at the top while he's going through this other stuff. This guy's a freaking genius making money off these records. But I've seen some of these records go for, you know, $500-600. People pay. Look, I don't know why people want to pay that much for records, but they do. Now, he just goes. You know, he's got like he goes until like 7 o'clock, and then he does like a half-hour break, and then he comes back in and he goes again until about 10 o'clock at night, selling these records. So he's on Facebook. It's under Collect Co, COLLECTCO, Collect Co. And he's probably got some stuff going on right now on Metal Night. I'm sure he's on right now. He's probably been on about 10 minutes or so. But I've bought a few albums. I got some Ozzy from him. Like the Ozzy album that I got from him was it Diary of a Madman? Yeah, Diary of a Madman, and it was a Walmart exclusive. So the vinyl itself is actually in blue and black marble, which is really cool. You know, I love the marble and colored records, and that's something that they really never did much. I mean, I think back in the '80s they may have done like white and black, and I know there was a band called Venom. Well, they're still around, I think, and Venom did an album called From Hell to Eternity, or From Hell to the Unknown, or something like that. One was in white vinyl and the other was in red vinyl, and I actually had that record. And if I had known back then what I know now, I would have never gotten rid of that record, because that record is worth a small fortune now. But you know, when you're young, you don't think about the future and stuff like that. So I sold that record to Repo Record, believe it or not. Repo Records in Charlotte, North Carolina. Give a shout out to Jimmy Repo. That's the owner. I used to do a lot of business with him when I lived in Charlotte, and I would trade. You know, I'd bring in I had gobs of freaking cassettes, and I would go in and, you know, trade them or sell them to him. And then I would take the money and put gas in my car, or, you know, pay my insurance or whatever it was I needed to do. But then there's Discogs. Discogs is a really good place to get records. And a lot of them have descriptions, you know, for each album. They have different prices, but there's all over the world, these people sell these records. And I find that like the more popular the album is, generally the more copies that are out there, the cheaper they are. So I try to you know, get albums that every once in a great while I get one that's like super rare, and I might pay $70 for it. You know, I'll pay up to like $80 for a record, but any more than that, forget it. So I found a copy of the Ozzy Osbourne Randy Rhoads tribute album. It was live in concert, and that was at a place here in St. Louis called Dead Vinyl, or was it Wax? Dead Wax. No, it's called Dead Wax. I'm sorry, not Dead Vinyl, Dead Wax. And it's in St. Louis, and it's just a couple of guys that run a record shop, and but they get some rare stuff in there every now and then. And I saw the record when I was in there. I was like, do I really want this? And do I want to pay that much for it? But I left, because we went to another one that was right down the street, called Waxworks. And I decided not to get it at that point. But I got home and I was looking on eBay, and that record was pretty expensive. So I called the guy back and I was like, hey man, you know, I was in there a little bit ago. I'd like to pick up this record. How much is it? And so he told me, you know, how much it was. And I said, dude, I'm going to pay you this over the phone with my credit card. I'm going to give you my address. Please, you know, send it out to me. And I think I had to pay like another $7 or $8 for shipping, but it was well worth it. The album is actually it's not in mint condition. It's probably more in the good to near mint condition as far as the vinyl itself. The The sleeve is a little beat up. It's got, you know, the ring around it. You know what I mean? When you slide it in and slide it out of the shelves. People, you know, I guess people back in the 80s, we didn't use the record sleeves back then. So, you know, you were slide it in and out and it would get that ring around it. I think it's got a slight ring in it, but otherwise the album's in excellent condition. It's got the original inside sleeves. And also I've got the Speak of the Devil record, which was it was just an Ozzy. Wasn't a tribute or anything, but it was the Speak of the Devil tour. And I think, was it Jakey Lee or Brad Gillis was on that? I think it was Brad Gillis from Night Ranger was on that record. And it's a really good album anyway. If you ever get a chance, or if you've not heard it, you really need to find it, listen to it. But anyway, so I ended up paying like, I don't know, probably $45 or $50 for that one. And it was fortunate enough for me that the dealer or the store on eBay that was selling that one was free shipping, so I didn't pay any shipping on it. And it's got the original sleeves. There might be some few little like minor scuffs on there, but it doesn't really affect the sound, you know. And of course, you know, when the quiet areas, it cracks and pops a little bit. I mean, it's an album. That's what they do. You know what I mean? So, I enjoy it a whole lot anyway, you know, doing these things. And I've lost all my viewers. Where'd everybody go? I'm so lonely. But I've been on here 53 minutes. I'm usually not on that long. But, yeah. So anyway, I gotta pack these boxes inside this other one. So, and I'm surprised my daughter hasn't been in also. By G-Want, thanks for the subscribe as well. I appreciate that. You appreciate my work, and you'll surely promote my channel and radio, Mike. You also start to sell music studio equipment like recording mic, audio interface, and all. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I was looking at the flag, hence he asked you, actually I'm a songwriter, music composer, and some of the channel I have launched. So when I get off of here, G-Want, I'll go over and subscribe to your channel as well. I always, you know, try to do that kind of as a courtesy thing when people stop in and they've subscribed to my channel. I also give free shout outs, which a lot of people won't do that. Usually people want you to subscribe and like their content before they'll give you a shout out. I don't do that. That's stupid. You know, I figure if people want me to give them a shout out bad enough, all they got to do is type something down at the bottom. I'll give them a shout out and I'll make them YouTube famous. Why not? Alexa, what's my notification?
One new notification from Amazon Shopping. Pre-cut Pinewood Derby cars has arrived. Additionally, you can thank the driver of your most recent delivery, and we'll share your appreciation with them. Just say, "Thank my driver."
Alexa, thank my driver.
Glad you enjoyed your most recent delivery. We'll share your thanks with your driver.
All right, thank you. All right, guys and girls, well, for those of you who stopped in today, I appreciate you. I don't know if any of you may still be around. Well, I know you're not right now, but I'm sure this will hit the replay pretty soon. So if you're in on the replay, I appreciate you guys checking in. I appreciate the new subscribers. I appreciate the old subscribers coming, well, my regular subscribers coming in. And we'll talk to you guys. Oh, I got a viewer. Hello, viewer. How you doing? So we were just talking about records and music and CB radios, and we had a hootenanny today on my channel. I'm glad that you stopped in, but unfortunately you've come in kind of at the ass end of it. But stop in again anytime, and we'll see you. All right, guys and girls, have a good one, and peace.